set yourself up to win when it comes to sleep. It is one of the most predictable parts of your day/night. There's so much unpredictability in your day. Why do you treat sleep as if it's unpredictable? In other words, you don't plan ahead for it the way that you would, knowing that every day you got to pick the kids up from school at 3:30. So you plan your day around that. You know, at 3:00, you got to leave the house. You know, you got to get all your shit together. Yeah. By 10 to 3 and know where your car keys are. You plan for it because you got to pick the kids up from school at 3:30. But if you know that you got to go to sleep tonight, why don't you plan for it instead of just fall into bed when you're exhausted? So let me give you some tips around sleep, because managing sleep has been a big thing for me that allows me to really take care of the car. Yeah, there's times where I will absolutely borrow cortisol, rowing the Atlantic, for example, right? That's not something you want to do with your car every year. But if your car's in good shape, it's going to get across the bumpy road, right, on there. Just don't live on a bumpy street. If you've got to visit a bumpy place once in a while, if your car's in good shape, your shockers will handle it. So from a sleep perspective, one has to understand the difference between the day body and the night body. There are two different states. There is the car racing up and down the road, and there is the car in the garage being serviced. Let's just look at that from a day-nighttime perspective, if you go with me on that. There are two primary minerals that are responsible for each of those aspects. And the cells in your body have two modes. They have energy production mode, racing up and down the street, and they have service, get rid of the toxins, clean everything out, spice it up, the floor sweepers in the supermarket at night to get it ready for the next morning. Everybody follow? And those two are governed by two minerals. The daytime mineral that turns the cells into energy-producing factories to start kicking it out so that your car can run is sodium. Specifically sodium chloride, i.e. salt. You cannot live without salt. Now, if I say the word salt, and what springs to mind is that toxic iodinized crap that people put on restaurant tables for you to put on your food, or the cheap white stuff in the supermarket. Now, we need to talk, because that will kill you. Salt, Celtic sea salt is fabulous. Salts that advertise that they are guaranteed free of microplastics, which is an issue in the ocean right now, on their Himalayan rock salt. People say, oh, what kind of salt? Much of a muchness. Salt contains many more minerals. The sea has up to 90 plus minerals in the sea salt. On the sea. Beautiful. But the primary mineral, 70% of that is going to be sodium chloride. Okay? And so when the British took over India in the time of the Raj, they made it illegal for you to make salt. Salt was rationed and salt was taxed. And that's what broke the British Empire when Gandhi marched in defiance to the ocean and made salt in front of all of the authorities. And that inspired the people. We call it symbolic action. All right? So, because the British knew if they could regulate salt, they could regulate life. You follow? We don't have to control 100 million Indians with just 1 million people. We just control the salt. Similar thing. Right? Same game with the elites. We just control 5 things. We'll control the healthcare system, which is the disease management system. All right? They use transformational vocabulary to fool people. It's disease management. All right? We'll control the food supply with Monsanto. And GM crop bullshit. We'll control the fuel, right, with our OPEC cartels, right, etc. We'll control the money supply. That's got nothing to do with governments. That's got everything to do with central banks, Federal Reserve. And we'll control the media, which means we control the minds of the public. So we control those 5. We control life on planet Earth. That's pretty much it. You only need a small number of things. But without salt, you will die. Runners, when you sweat, you sweat a lot of minerals, 70% of which is sodium chloride, which is why if you don't replace that, you get cramps. Why? Your body stops working. If you're getting cramps, it's a salt deficiency. People on carnivore diet that don't have enough electrolytes, for example, right, will tend to get cramps. It's an adjustment period. Anyway, So when you get up in the morning, I have a secret superpower. You can actually buy filtered deep sea water in a lot of health food stores. A lot of health food stores sell it. I take a shot glass every morning, bang. I don't mind the taste. I can handle that. For some of you don't want it, dilute it in a bigger glass. Or if you don't want to do that, just take quarter teaspoon of decent salt, whack it in a pint of water, hydrate the body. And what it does in the morning, this is first thing, before coffee, you coffee people, right? What it does, right? And set yourself up to win. What do you do the night before? You put it in a glass, you stir it, you put it next to the bed. Make it easy. Swing your legs over the bed, grab the glass, right? And what it does, the extra water helps flush the toxins out that the body's been clearing out of all the cells overnight. And it primes the body for a switch into energy production because sodium now becomes the dominant solution that the cells are bathing in. Everybody follow? Okay. Now, at night, you don't want to be drinking salt water. Because at night, the car goes into the garage. And the garage doesn't work off sodium chloride, it works off a different mineral, magnesium. So at night, you want to take magnesium 30 minutes before bed. Challenge is that there's many different types of magnesium. And if you go to a health store, they will usually sell you magnesium oxide, which is cheap crap the body can't use. But it's magnesium. So Pete said it was good. No, he didn't. So I wouldn't eat Epsom salts. What Epsom salts are very good for, which is essentially magnesium sulfate, are baths. And once a week, ladies, I'm not going to need to twist your arm on this one, right? Run yourself a nice warm bath, dump in, right? It's cheap. Treat yourself to a freaking kilogram, right? Or 500 grams minimum. Less than that, don't bother. And every night, I dumped every single night for the 7 days. I was dumping over a kilo in and I would soak for 15, 20 minutes. That's one of the reasons you saw me bouncing on stage, because my body could repair a lot easier and faster out of all the red line that I was giving you guys, for 12 hours a day. Now, you don't need to do it every single night. On something like that, yes, it makes sense. But once a week, to top up your magnesium levels that so many people are deficient in. And by the way, a lack of sodium will kill you. A lack of magnesium will give you so many problems. I don't even have time to go into it. The knock-on effect of not having high magnesium levels will impact everything from hearing to blood pressure to, again, I could go on and on. So salt in the morning, hydrate, followed by magnesium. I take, if I take a bath, I don't take the capsules, but I don't take a bath every night. I do it once a week. But instead, if you want to then go and just, now I take, it says, take 2 magnesium capsules, take 4, right? You're not going to overdose on magnesium and have problems unless you do 2 bottles, right? But I wouldn't recommend that. It gets expensive. But sink a fair bit, just do a small handful, 4 capsules, 5 capsules, whack that in and test. By the way, one of the first things you might notice, your dreams suddenly become a lot more vivid. Anyone ever experienced that on magnesium? You'll be able to test. Why? Why do you think? So in theta is when you dream. Magnesium helps you sleep. It says to the body, hey guys, right, stand down. We're going to sleep, right? Because the cells have now switched. They've been given the signal. Magnesium will flip your cells into a night mode. Or when it's flipping into night mode through to different light wavelengths, shifting and melatonin being produced out of the pineal gland instead of serotonin, the body will start to look for magnesium. And as soon as the magnesium hits the cells, they start turning into the street sweepers at night, rather than the helpful shop assistants in the day. So that's probably one of the biggest, easiest ways to set you up to win in terms of chemically. But what beats chemistry, ladies and gentlemen? Frequency, right? So we know how to take care of the car at night chemically, but the driver has a bigger impact on the car, right? If you have a lousy driver, is that going to affect the state of the car, do you think, over time? Dents and scrapes and bangs, and it's going to affect your insurance premiums for sure. But if you know what you're doing and you do it well, the car's going to serve you well. You all own a high performance race car. Your bodies are capable of so much more than what you're doing. So you could have the best car in the world, but the driver's the key factor. So when you go to sleep at night, yes, take care of the car, take some magnesium, don't eat too late because otherwise the body's now using energy to digest rather than putting energy into repairing and cleaning the streets. Don't eat within 3 hours of going to bed if you can help it. 2 hours at an absolute minimum. You just do that for some of you. It's a game changer. And if you feel hungry, take a spoon of coconut oil, all right? And if you still feel hungry, which you won't, then drink a cup of water. You're probably not hungry, you're thirsty. Right? Not water that has already been turned into wine. Yeah, that's not the miracle cure we're looking for. Right? So when we go to bed, how do we take care of the driver? You have to get rid of cortisol out of the body. Any residual cortisol that is left in the body will put the brakes on REM sleep. It's an evolutionary defense mechanism because you would only have cortisol if you knew there was physical danger. A storm, that you might not survive, a bear outside of the cave, marauding bandits. So you go to sleep, you're worried about something. That sends cortisol into the system. And as you go to sleep, the body says, okay, you've got cortisol. That means there's danger potentially present. In which case, I will not allow you to go into deep sleep because you need to be awake as soon as you hear a twig snap, as soon as you hear a growl, as soon as you hear a footstep. You follow? So you go to bed worried about anything, and you are robbing yourself of the ability to repair. So in the first half of the night, you go into deep sleep, which is where most of the cleaning gets done for the body. In the second half of the night, you go into REM sleep, which is where the neural connections get pruned, where a lot of the mental cognitions get optimized. So if you skip the first half of the night, i.e. you skip the deep sleep, and you're just in a light sleep because the body's worried about the tigers, you're going to wake up even after 8 hours in bed and still wonder why you're tired. Or you're still going to have to borrow cortisol to make it through the day. So letting go of fear, stress, problems, to-dos, anxiety, when you get into bed, this is where your chief how officer comes in. And the best way that I do that is using the metaphor of a boat. How many people have been on the Masters of Destiny cruise? Give me a wave. I can see some of you. Yay. Right? So here's what happens on the Masters of Destiny cruise. We have an amazing time on board a multi-million-dollar private boat, a power yacht that's just us. And we go to some amazing places. We do some amazing stuff. We learn some amazing things. Do you know there's not one time during that cruise where I'm planning on trying to deliver an incredible event to these people and teaching at high level and going and doing life-changing stuff? There isn't one time throughout that whole 7 days I think, oh crap, I wonder if I've dropped the anchor right. Oh, I'm going to bed now, but the ship's still moving because we're going to another island. I wonder if we're going to crash. That was never on my radar. Why? Because there's a captain. I'm on the cruise ship of life. There is a captain. I don't have to worry about any of that. Now, when you go to bed, you want to hand over to the captain of your ship all of the things that needs to take care of, so you don't have to worry about anything. Your chief how officer. I didn't give it a second thought. Seb, I'm pretty sure when you went down to your cabin that night, that you weren't worried about who was driving the ship, or if it was going to be safe, or if they make the wrong turn, or what if we anchor up at the wrong place, or I don't know, what if we run out of fuel? No, why? It was taken care of. You got a captain. Well, you already know in EMF module 5 about your non-physical support team. Some of you haven't been using them for a while. But what if you just had one of your non-physical support team, one of your spirit guides, one of your guardian angels, one of your, I don't know, spirit animals, figure it out. It's all labels, that was in charge of making sure that your ship was steered beautifully at night. And you just handed everything over and you walked down into your cabin and you could relax at the same level we relaxed out on the Masters of Destiny cruise. Feeling the wish fulfilled as the captain takes you to where you know you're going to wake up in the morning.